casually that was reported. Well, 3 years ago, they got a brand new bishop, a wonderful lady named Obispa Delgado, who's just been going to town revitalizing that diocese. And yes, Spanish-speaking Anglican Cubans. They're not part of the Episcopal Church. So they were officially welcomed back first in the House of Bishops and then by resolution in the House of Deputies. And they came marching in. Their bishop and their deputation came marching in, and everybody was clapping for a long time. It is the only time that I have ever seen the U.S. flag and the Cuban flag process together. That could be the first time in history, I don't know. Bishop Delgado spoke at some length. She doesn't speak English. When I got acquainted with her, we had somebody who could translate. And by the way, all of convention is in at least 2 languages, English and Spanish. There's simultaneous Spanish translation. So there are deputies in Puerto Rico who don't speak any English, or they don't do it fast enough, or they can't say exactly what they want to say in English when they're talking to 1,100 people. They also provide French, Haitian Creole, and one other. Oh, that would be Spanish. So Spanish, French, Haitian Creole. And every time that somebody comes on and they're speaking a different language, and the translator then gets on the PA system, you know, it's just one more reminder. This denomination is a church of 13 nations. And at a reception, I met some of the deputation from Liberia in West Africa, and some of the deputation from Taiwan. I mean, this denomination, not the Anglican Communion, which spans the world, but just this denomination, the Episcopal Church, is not just the Episcopal Church in the United States of America, but it's the Episcopal Church in the United States, in Puerto Rico, and Haiti, Liberia, and West Africa, Taiwan, and Asia. It's pretty broad and expansive. And that's it for my overview, but what do you want to get to?
I was going to say, if you get a chance to go out on Facebook, and I don't remember if it was part of your page or not, but there was I can't imagine Bishop Curry giving anything other than a sermon, no matter what he says. But the translator, the young lady that translated it to Spanish, their interplay was worth listening to the entire thing. I listened to it twice.
It was the 2 of them on stage. So this was
They were adorable.
the Saturday night revival for which all the public were invited.
They were adorable together.
Yeah.
Their interplay was just, it made me appreciate the fact that he is so welcoming to everyone.
Yeah, he was very gracious with her, wasn't he?
In fact, there were a couple of times when he said something, and she looked at him like, God, don't have a word for that one. And he got, and he gave her a different word, and she's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
I'll send you a link to that one too. That'll be in the newsletter this week. What else would you like to talk more about?
What was the thinking and reasoning why these I don't even know what dioceses, like in Taiwan and Africa, and why are they part of the Episcopal Church of the United States?
Well, it's for historical reasons as well, that which became tradition. You know, tradition is usually the correct answer to any question about the Episcopal Church. Missionaries from the Episcopal Church in the United States went to Liberia. Many black Christians who are also Episcopalians, after manumission, went to Liberia so they could live freely as Africans instead of under Jim Crow laws in the United States. Quite a few missionaries in the 1880s and 1890s to China, including Taiwan, and also Japan. So the whole east coast of Asia there, and they became dioceses and they just stayed. If they wanted to become independent dioceses or band together with neighboring dioceses to create, say, an Anglican Church of East Asia, they could. Nothing stopping them. They would need to ask General Convention.
Yeah.
But the really historical reasons that became tradition. Makes a really fun church too.
Yeah,
So
I guess.
another thing the church mentions group puts on every year is the International Visitors Reception. And this is where they have the hotel pull out the best food and the best wine. And I mean, better wine than I ever buy for myself. So you can kind of tell what parts of General Convention I enjoy more. But all these deputations from outside the United States are there. Plus, there are visitors. 3 years ago, when I was sitting with the new bishop of Cuba at this reception, there also sat down a man who was the Archbishop of the Anglican Church of Central Africa. And I had both these people at the same table, plus somebody to translate for the English. And of course, the guy from Africa spoke the Queen's English. And it's so much fun being part of a church that is international.
Did they use the same prayer book?
In all 13 nations, yes, exactly the same.
In their own language?
And they do translations too. And we heard about that too. There's a term for it I can look up if we want to know. The translation into Haitian Creole is bad. I'd actually been told that when I was in Haiti. But one of our resolutions involves making a good interpretation of the prayer book in Haitian Creole to be voted on 3 years from now. There's actually, I have prayer books in several languages, I mean physical prayer books in 3 languages, and there's another one in one of the Indian, Native American languages. Yeah. What else? Did you all find this interesting or kind of boring? It's okay to say.
Fascinating.
Okay. I'm kind of a General Convention nerd. Bob is too. And so while I'm really interested and excited in this, I don't always know if everybody else is. Yes?
Can anyone who, number one, who gets to go, can anyone go? Number 2, if you go and you're not, not clergy, not a part of any committee or what, how much of it can you at least go in and listen to and observe?
Okay. So
Virtually all of it.
Virtually all.
Yeah.
2 questions. Who gets to go?
Yeah.
So you have to be a delegate to the diocesan convention, put your name forward or get a nomination from someone else. Everybody votes. All the delegates at the annual diocesan convention vote. And the top 4 vote getters among lay people become the 4 deputies. The next 4 become the 4 alternates. The diocese pays for the deputies and the first alternate to go. If you're the third, if you're the second, third, fourth alternate, you have to pay your own way, sadly. And then among clergy, priests and deacons, they do the same with 4 deputies and 4 alternates.
Okay.
So
Kathy Morris is on the other side of it. Maybe it wasn't Kathy. Someone was on the other side of the door, sorry. Anyway.
Kathy Marsh should have left a while back.
Okay, so,
Second question, can you go to virtually anything?
right.
Yes, virtually anything. If you go on your own dime, you'll at least have to register and pay a fee to attend things, but you can get into worship, you can get into the House of Deputies, you can frequently get into the House of Bishops, and sometimes they kick non-bishops out so they can have private conversations.
Sure.
The worship is absolutely amazing. You've got maybe 2,000 people there in one room, and they're all Episcopalians, and they all know how to sing. And then also they bring in the best quality musicians. And that would be anything from Native Americans with drums, to a choir and instruments. Hey, Peter, come on. That's really one of the great parts of the convention too, is just going to worship every day.
Yes, I would think
So are you ready about it to, okay. So you're eligible to nominate.
Actually,
The next one will be in Baltimore.
anyone can nominate, it's self-nominated. But,
Right.
and the election for deputation for general convention in 2021 is this year. Correct.
Should be.
It should be
This
at
fall?
this
It
convention.
should be, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Next year.
Just,
They do
no,
it 2 years
no,
before?
it's, no.
Yeah, 2 years.
He's looked.
I've looked.
Well, I'll straighten that out before the bishop reappoints me head of the nominating committee.
That sounds correct. I think when the convention year, then that convention, diocesan convention, it's like, oh, we elect the next batch.
Okay. I'll run again. I love it. I kind of know my way around too.
A lot of people, the same people usually run. Marshall's pretty much it. Marshall loves going. He's a convention geek too.
Marshall Scott for St. Louis Hospital.
And a number of the deputation folks from the diocese here are on some of the other standing committees or commissions or whatever, at higher levels in the Episcopal Church. Stan is on council.
The executive council,
Yeah.
which is kind of like a vestry for the denomination, and they have a lot of authority to do things between meetings of the general convention. And there are a couple of other standing commissions. One is on governance, church structure, the other is on liturgy and music, and they just keep functioning all the time. And then there are lots and lots of legislative committees that only exist during convention. But you can volunteer for any of those. You may or may not be picked. I haven't been picked. But
Is
that's
that
okay.
right?
That means I can go follow what I want to follow. If you do get on a legislative committee, guaranteed you're going to have, you're going to be working at least 12 hours a day between that and other convention days. Because committee meetings usually start at 7. Well, we had some that's 3 years ago that started at 7. That was the church pension group, which I was covering. 7 a.m. And then sometimes after convention and after supper, after the legislative session for the day and after supper, they'll meet again at 7 p.m. And then there are a few that just kind of meet continually, like dispatcher business. So, what else can I say? Okay, well, I thought we'd go till 10. It's 10:02, so thank you all very much. I've got handouts here. I'm going to put them on this table.